to Frisella all around the yard. This is Juliana. I am filling in. Actually, I think you deemed me co-host last week. So you're going to hear my little voice every once in a while and giving Anthony a break on the podcast and getting a little different girl perspective on some things. And I really enjoy this. And I've enjoyed my podcast with Anthony. So I think we're going to have fun. So who we have today, everybody, and this is something I'm super excited about, is Jackson Hambrick from Gateway Greening Community. He is the education manager. Jackson grew up in Colorado, originally from Colorado. Am I correct?
Yep.
Went to Mizzou, got his little Missouri roots. We keep you once you get here. You did some cool things besides getting your degree at Mizzou, and then you went on and went to New Zealand. Tell me a little bit about New Zealand.
Yeah, so I've actually been to New Zealand twice. It's kind of funny.
Lucky dog.
While I was at Mizzou, so I have a degree in food science. They have a cool partnership with the school there. And so over a winter break, they took about 10 or 15 of us, I think, and we kind of toured New Zealand. It was a class where we basically learned about wine and cheese in the country, probably the best class you could take.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I think I was 20 still then too. So you can drink at 18 in New Zealand, which is nice.
Yeah.
And so once I graduated Mizzou, I was kind of like, well, didn't have a job yet for food science or anything. So I went back and did it. They call it woofing. So basically you kind of work on farms about 20 hours a week or so, and they basically pay for your food and housing. And so it's really nice for traveling, real cheap. What a great idea for somebody that's young and 20, you're not tied down yet. And you really learn, put a lot in your little passport, your portfolio of things to do. So yeah. I get it. So you ran some urban farm programs and that in turn got you to the Gateway Greening Community. Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah. So at Gateway Greening, we used to have an urban farm right downtown. We had like great views of like the arch. We still use some of those shots. So I was running that program. We kind of partnered with St. Patrick's Center, which is a social service agency for those that are unhoused. And so we did those kind of going through their process at St. Pat's. We did like some job training, getting people kind of moving them into kind of the green industry, but really just in general, providing some income and then some job training and stuff for these people to put on their resumes and kind of get them back to that level of confidence. And a lot of, it wasn't just kind of regular farming stuff. We also did a lot of therapeutic and really embrace kind of the therapeutic aspects of being outdoors. And you're like right in the middle of the city. So it's like very busy traffic, stuff like this, but you step on the farm and it's just, we got bees, butterflies floating around. We got an orchard. It was very nice and very calming. We kind of ended or transitioned the program away just because we didn't own the property and stuff like that. And so I've moved over and now kind of helping with our education, but then also all of our garden stuff, which like we were talking about, we got a lot of them.
Well, I think your job is super important nowadays. And I know our client base is changing. We've got a lot of the new generation kids that are into plants, into gardening, love getting their hands dirty, love having the organic aspect of just getting back to earth. And I think that is super important, and the education that you have. And one thing that I was interested in that we talked about was the Giving Grove at Gateway. Tell me a little bit about the Giving Grove and how that works. I know you started through Kansas City and then you guys have migrated this way and started here.
Yeah, it's a really cool program. So it's the original nonprofit is in Kansas City, and they have done an awesome job of where their goal. So they run where they give out fruit trees and do plantings around Kansas City, but they kind of wanted to look to get a little bit bigger. And so they took their model. So they provide like kind of how they do it, but then also a lot of the fruit trees and just kind of, there's, all the logistics of maintaining trees, growing them, stuff like that. And they've basically exported this model and provided it to nonprofits around the region. And so we were, I think, the second or third organization I think they might be up to like 10 or 12 now around. So like they're in Omaha, I think
Nice.
Memphis.
Hmm.
Um, and so we've taken that on, and now we have, as of 2017 is when we started. I think we had maybe one or two orchards that were just kind of random. And now we have over 40 orchards around the St. Louis region. Yeah.
Yeah, when I got on your website and looked at how many, that was crazy. I didn't realize how many were here in this area. And what a fantastic program. So for anybody listening, what is actually a community garden? Let's just go to the bare basics.
Yeah. And you Google it, you find all the definitions. There's a lot of different ones. And we just really think of it as anything that is kind of bringing people together and growing food, and just building a sense of community. So we have a pretty broad definition. And since we work all over St. Louis, we have over 250 of these projects that we're working with. They're all very much defined by the community they're in. So if it's like a school focused one, I mean, like they're probably thinking more about education, bringing those kids out, talking about teaching, stuff like that, versus a lot of people think of kind of that traditional garden where it's maybe just a little bit of like a corner lot where everybody buys a raised bed box and that's what they're growing. And that's where a lot of our gardens are. But like with our orchard stuff, it seems like the kind of trends are going into some more exciting, cool stuff. I mean, I love growing tomatoes, I love all the traditional stuff, but getting a little bit more perennials involved and stuff like that is,
and so many people are into their butterfly gardens, and just kind of putting those butterfly gardens with your garden, if you had a community garden, to help with the pollination process is incredible. And we see it every day here. I pretty much take it for granted. I don't realize that, every day that I'm involved in this. And it's so fun when somebody goes, "Oh my God, look at all the butterflies." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, these guys are here all day."
yeah,
And it's pretty fun.
we work with a researcher at SLU, St. Louis University here. He does urban pollinator research.
Oh, nice.
Dr. Camille. And his like research shows that like St. Louis, there's a couple other major cities, but we have some of the most diverse bee populations in the country, more diverse than really even out in rural areas, because we have all these different, pollinating plants, things like that. There's just so much diversity here.
Well, a lot of our natives are such pollinating plants that, we need. We're a hub here in the Midwest. I think it's a good hub to be proud of, that we are a pollinating hub here. And just a tremendous, it's just so fun to see all this happening and watch it. We do some field trips with children. And so we've done a few classes now, some homeschooling. So any homeschoolers out there, you want to do a little field trip with us, I'll teach about pollinating. And I got that. I've got some, educational materials that we give out. And again, it's something that I think we take for granted, but we're involved in it every day here at Frisella. We also have our beehives. So we have, a set of hives back here. A lot of people ask about our local honey. And I said, some lady asked me, she goes, it was awesome. She goes, "How local is your honey?" And I go, "It's right out the front door." So taking advantage of that, what we have here at Frisella with our 32 acres, I know everybody could do that too with the hives, and get a beekeeper and get involved in that.
Yeah,
so
the homesteading seems to be
it's awesome, isn't it? I have a cousin went out in the middle of Missouri to do that homesteading stuff. She loves it. She's been there like 15 years doing it. It's amazing. So here in the urban area, how do we start a community garden? Could my neighborhood do it?
Yeah. So St. Louis, one of the things we are blessed with is we have lots of land. We have lots of space. So kind of what we do for groups that are interested in starting gardens, we kind of do some orientation stuff, but basically you just kind of reach out to us. We have a process that we have kind of refined. We've been around since 1984 as an organization, of how we find, like, if you it's really just like a couple questions, kind of figuring out who else involved in your neighborhood, reaching out to some other organizations. And we find once you kind of go through that, you can really create a pretty strong, stable garden. Because our goal isn't, you can put in a raised bed together is pretty simple, but really having that thing around for a decade of people being there and maintaining it, that's really kind of where the work is. But yeah, so we have lots of people just like they have an empty lot on their neighborhood, or somebody owns an extra lot and they're like,
I think we froze up a minute. I don't know if Jackson is a little frozen for me. Yeah, and I know I spoke, and I will unfreeze Jackson here in a little bit, hopefully. But what I understood when I saw some of the community gardens that we have here in St. Louis, I don't know, can you see me now, Jackson? Hear me?
yep, I gotcha.
Okay, good. I was going through some of the gardens, like you said, in your neighborhood, and get an established garden and something that you can have the longevity of it, which is great for your community, great for your neighborhood. I noticed so many little towns around us, all have community gardens. And like you said, a plot of land, it may cost you. I found some that are absolutely free in some cities. Some quite large, some have multiple sites, as in the city of St. Peter's, if you're, on there. City of St. Charles, I found one there. U City's got a great program. Chesterfield's got a great program. Some are on waiting lists. So I really think there's a need out there with all these waiting lists that we create some more gardens out there. With community garden projects, is there a way to volunteer through Gateway Greening? Do you have any volunteer programs?
Yep, we have lots of volunteer stuff. So whether we have a demonstration garden, so that's where a lot of our education occurs.
Mhm.
So we have volunteers that come there.
Mhm.
Some have been around for a long time. Some are kind of people interested in kind of volunteering and using it as kind of a place to learn about gardening, which is the best way to learn, is just be doing it. But then we can also connect you with gardens that maybe in your neighborhood, maybe a school garden. You really just reach out to basically volunteer at gatewaygreening.org. We can connect you with it. Take a look at the website.
Good. Do you guys have any social media pages? Gatewaygreening.com, and then are you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff?
Yep. All
Great.
the social media, Gateway Greening.
Yeah.
So.
I loved your page. I thought it was tremendous, and I loved listening and reading about everything that you guys do. There's so many education programs, and it's something I truly believe in. Just being here every day, it is my happy place. So if you're interested in a garden, community garden, there's plenty of places to do that. Just get on the web. You can always contact us here at Frisella. We can help you with that. I know we have a lot of gardening people that come here with their community gardens, getting materials. A lot of the community gardens, they help till, they help give you the water source. So it's a pretty easy turnkey thing. I know a lot of these communities, then they share their bounty with each other. I love it when the stores, I see now stores giving away free fruit and free vegetables for little kids. We're trying to get our kids into that mindset of thinking more organically and less processed. And I love that. That's a huge thing for me. So Jackson, I appreciate all the time that you've spent with us today. I just think what you're doing is invaluable, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. So again, get on Gateway Greening, go onto their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social networks, as here at Frisella. Give us a call. If any gardening that you have in the fall, give us a call here or visit here. We are just ramping up for fall, and we've got a lot of good fall veggies and flowers, pollinators, and we can sure help you with pollinators that can help you throughout this year. Some composting ideas we talked about last week on our podcast, of using some of the natural materials that we have in there. So please follow us on social media at frisellanursery.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on all of them, plus our YouTube channel. And if you're interested in any of our fall classes here at the nursery, go to frisellanursery.com, go to events, and we're right there with you. Jackson, I appreciate all your time. Thank you very much. I know you've got a lot of important things going on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.